Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Major League here for Heroes of the Storm, as we're in Week 2, Day 2. And we've already had a very cool series unfold with us, with a 2-0 to going over to We Are Not Prepared. Now we're going to go over to one of the highlights for me, actually, now that we've seen the qualifier go on, and it's going to be El Nexo going up against Fnatic.
Yeah, Nexo Fnatic is going to be an extremely cool game, and that's also because they have been playing against each other for ages. I remember back in the alpha when we didn't even have custom games, when you could only cast per replays and the teams could only play against each other when they told other teams on the same MMR level to not queue, and then the system would match them up against each other. Back then we already had tournaments, and Fnatic was better than El Nexo just a little bit, and El Nexo slowly started catching up and suddenly dominated the European server. And it's pretty awesome to see both of them going up against each other in the Major League now.
Yeah, Fnatic, if you're unaware as to how they've actually wound up here, yesterday we had a qualifier as Alternate were actually disqualified from the Major League, and Fnatic were able to win out through the 14 qualifier that went on yesterday. So now they have entered. This is their first game in the Major League. They'll be playing the previous game that Alternate played in the first week. They're actually going to be playing that in the third week. So there's going to be 3 games next Tuesday as opposed to 2. It looks like both teams are ready. It's going to be Blackheart's Bay to start things off in this best of 3 here, Kaldor. And I'm looking forward to this Bandon picks. I really am.
This is going to be extremely good. Fnatic is putting a lot of time, work, and effort into their pick and ban strategies, also into training itself. But the same goes for Nexo too. Fnatic is valuing Illidan very highly in this patch right now. They also like Tyrande a lot. And with the bans, usually when they have first pick, first ban, we're probably going to see some kind of bullshit ban from them on 1, and then the attempt to take someone like either Stitches or, of course, good old Zeratul.
Yeah, and just going to wait for this in a little bit. They're taking their time with this first ban here, but as you said, there is the potential that they go for something that would sway in their favor against the idea of the Stitches and the Zeratul. And it's going to be Tyrande that does end up first falling here.
That's an interesting one now as well, because with Tyrande being banned like this, what they want to do is also eliminate any possibility of Stitches and Tyrande ending up in the same team. Because they already know if they go for first pick Stitches, let's say, for example, El Nexo bans Zeratul. If Fnatic would pick Stitches, and then you would still have El Nexo with Tyrande, and they wouldn't take that away against the potential initiation. So that's the reason why we're having that right now, so that you can't counter pick in this case. And actually, they are... I like that. They are saying we can deal with Stitches. This is actually a really interesting one. That's the reason why they picked Tyrande, because they were planning to go into Vala from the beginning, apparently, and didn't want to have both of them ending up for Elnix. Not only Tyrande, but the Stitches as well.
That's pretty cool. That shows a lot of confidence in their current meta Vala play as well. So I'm very interested to see what build they're going to go with that. If it's the traditional multi-shot or if they deviate slightly. As El Nexo now have 2 picks available.
Shinobu is most likely going to go for more. Well, actually, with Shinobu, you could see both. But yeah, I expect him still to go into Strafe over Reign of Vengeance. It could also be played by Kesel, though. Both of them are really good with Tyrande. Sorry, with Vala.
Oh, and it's going to be Stitches to start things off for El Nexo here, and Brightwing as the second choice as well. So again, we are on Blackheart's Bay here to start things off. So even though the phase has been nerfed a little bit. I think it went from 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a longer cooldown, much longer, but it's still very, very powerful if you're keeping good eyes on the map and being aware.
Fnatic could aim again for an Illidan comp here. They have the option to do that, and they have been valuing that very, very, very highly. So Tacita already picked. I could see Illidan coming up next. If they want to pick him, they are probably going to pick him early. Because the problem that, well, I'm not quite sure if El Nexo is going to pick the Illidan away, but with the Tacita, they already work towards that, and there it is. They go for an early Illidan.
All right, well, at least this gives El Nexo a little bit of room to react to the idea of an Illidan. If you were going to react to that idea here, Kaldor, what would you do as El Nexo? Is there anything specific?
Just make sure that you have some CC there, that you can really deal with him. They have Polymorph, at least one, which is already good for that. But yeah, I have not seen El Nexo play too much just lately. I didn't cast too many of their games. So I'm not 100% certain what kind of meta they are playing these days. They love to play with the Zeratul. They've always played Zeratul, even when he was a bit weaker. So LoL 60 is usually taking that. Karrigan is a hero that they oftentimes pick on LoL 60, but Karrigan was changed in the last patch. So with the new meta and also all those patch changes, I really don't know what they're going for. But Hammer is, of course, again, a great pick. I mean, it's one of the best DPS heroes in the game at this point.
I think also Nexo has the opportunity, even with Stitches, despite the idea of Gorge having a damage decrease, it's still a pretty viable option to just bring in Illidan when he actually jumps in and just eliminate him from the fight for a little bit whilst you're doing it. And also, you know, if they... Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting an Arthas to come out as a double front line here.
Me neither. And Arthur's now in this game. Arthur's also with a few changes, of course. Arthur's being picked here. I was saying that I could see an Anubarak with the level 20 Talon now having Rewind again, but that is something that I personally did not expect them to go for.
No, likewise. So, Rhaegar, well, there we go. It's very much so shaping up to be that Illidan comp.
That was obvious.
Yeah.
Like, Rhaegar Muradin for Fnatic was absolutely obvious. If you watched yesterday's games, then you know this is the comp that they want. For Nexo, I have no clue. That Arthur's pick is really throwing me off a bit. I didn't expect that after the change that we had to the hero.
No, I wasn't expecting it either, but it looks like they seem pretty confident with it. It's not like they dithered about and took a lot of time in terms of picking that up, so it was a go-to here. I guess they just want the extra lockdown in the melee ranks as they're going up against something like this Illidan comp.
Well, the thing is, though, that Arthas in general, like, he lost Envenom. That alone is already a big blow to him, because a lot of the damage that we saw on Arthas came from Envenom, and that was also what made him so dangerous, especially in the early game. The changes, like, he had a couple of changes with his mana and other things. We also have him not really as tanky as he was before. And it's in the new Tychus. I like it. We have seen him yesterday once, but not really. I think only Dimaga played him in one of the games for your team. But I like that. Tychus being picked here. We're going to see the new Odin. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Haven't been able to really see too much of it at all. So let's get into our games as we have an invite. Oh, Vortex and the guys inviting me. They're so cute. We've known these guys for a long time, and it's nice to see them doing so well in Heroes of the Storm at the moment. And they coordinate just so well as a Spanish team. I mean, as you said before, they've been doing extremely well, if not dominating the European scene for a while.
A lot of teams actually say that one of the advantages that Nexo has is that they seem to figure out the meta or the OP heroes a bit faster than others, and nobody really catches up to that. So they just play their comps and they win a lot because they are just ahead of it. And nobody realizes just how strong the stuff that they play is and then start losing to them. But they have been more vulnerable in the last few weeks than they have before. So they actually lost a couple of games, were eliminated in tournaments a lot earlier than usual. So I'm extremely excited for this game now because Fnatic is doing very well. They had a bit, I don't want to call it a slump, but they had problems in the last patch since a lot of the comps that they were playing didn't really work like they were hoping for. They feel, well, it's very early, but they told me they feel very comfortable in the current patch and with their current comps that they play. So that both being said, that game should be pretty epic.
Yeah, I think so as well. Especially considering what we saw is that actually Fnatic was able to beat them pretty recently in that Take TV Cup brawl in the grand final 2-1. So this series could have been, if ATN had been around, maybe a little bit more one-sided, as then they don't stack up quite as well against El Nexo. But here, going up against Fnatic, this one, I can't really call it either way. I mean, I think El Nexo is going to bring a very, very fierce game because it's the Major League and there's a lot on the line going forwards. But Fnatic, likewise, they have a great opportunity as well. I cannot call this game at the moment.
I would give the edge to Fnatic. Traditionally, El Nexo wins. But right now, I would give the edge to Fnatic just because they have... This is exactly the comp that they want. Not a single hero that they like was picked away. They knew that they would probably not get like Hammer with this, which were they going yesterday for, but this is the perfect comp for them. This is what they were practicing with. It's what they played yesterday with a few variations, and I think that they are very, very happy with that draft. And they know how to play that. Especially Lowell is going to jump up and down when he sees that everything worked out, then he can play his Illidan. So I would give a bit of an edge to Fnatic here.
Well, we're getting into things then. It's going to be Blackheart's Bay to start things off in this best of 3. And you raise a good point that they're going to be happy with how this draft has gone for them. It's really cool to see like the more conventional comp go up against this Illidan comp and see who's going to win it out. Let's get into game number 1 on Blackheart's Bay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first game at the ESL Major League between Nexo and Fnatic. To the left side of the map, we have Fnatic in blue with Ace of Spades on Rega here at the ESL Major League. Freds is playing Muradin. We have Lowell on Illidan, Kesil on Tassadar, and Shinobu on Vala. In this first game of the best of 3 series, to the right side, we are seeing in red Lucifron starting on Stitches. Vortex is playing Sergeant Hammer. Alistair, the new Tychus. We have Grandpa Keto on Right Wing, and LOL versus XD on Arthurs. I'm Kaldon with Miss Kilaris. We're going to bring you the coverage on this first game here at the ESL Major League.
Alright, and already we're seeing the king of level 1 for the most part, Stitches, move up to the watchtower to try and assert dominance up here. LOL versus XD is going to grab that, and well, Fnatic's having none of it. They do not want to be going into the meat grinder of that Stitches hook.
Yeah, you don't want to go up against the Stitches in this situation, so a smart choice by them to not go for that at all. We're having a few changes in builds already. Arthur's, of course, was changed a lot in the last patch. He lost in Venom on level 4 and also is now in a position where he's not as tanky as he was in the last patch. Block is a result on level 1 taken now for Nexo. And if we're looking at Fnatic, the first thing that comes to mind here is that Vala is playing with a multi-shot build. We've been talking about the level 20 talent for her quite a bit, and if you go for a single target DPS build with the right click, then you can pick that up, but in this case you're most likely going to see the Bolt of the Storm on level 20 for her. So already an indication that they don't plan on using the new talent for at least their range DPS.
Yeah, strong little roam there actually to start things off by Fnatic, who were able to pick up quite a few coins up at the top despite the positioning, the initial positioning of El Nexo. And at the same time we saw El Nexo grab themselves that bottom chest of coins. So blow for blow there, not too much in terms of it, but again, good for Fnatic to pick up that top 1 considering the position.
Yeah, and we see a slight lead in experience for El Nexo. That's one of the things that El Nexo does very well. Like, oh my god, that dodge of Ace of Spades against the Howling Blast as the top. Beautiful. Was just skirting the edges of it. Very well done. And now they're moving in again with the counter initiation against LOL versus XD. I'm not getting the kill here. But as I was saying, that experience lead, El Nexo always pulls it off somehow.
Nice little concussive blast there by Vortex to push them away in the middle. They're still camping that middle watchtower though, as LOL versus XD is going to try and check that location, does find them. And there's not a whole lot there that we could have seen from Muradin and Illidan to try and push that away without this extra support from Kesil, as well as Ace of Spades up to the top. So, yeah, just established a little bit of dominance there. Alistair's going to push away Shinobu in the middle, down to the bottom.
Yeah, 2 minutes in, the mercenary camps appear on the map, and that is the immediate cue for Freds and Lowell to move to the left side and take the first hard camp that we're seeing there. The rest of the team is holding lanes, but still an Nexo with that slight lead in experience and a faster level 4 talent. They're currently picking on Arthurs on level 4 Destruction, one of the Frostmourne traits that you have there. Looking at the rest of the team, pretty similar builds, pretty normal builds. A Smash build actually on Stitches, since we have a double tank. Really a surprise, not going for sustain, which would of course have been the build if he was the single tank of the team. We're having overkill build for Tychus. The most thing that was really changed with Tychus was his Odin. Everything else for most of it is the same.
Yeah. The taking of the hard camp at the top gave them a little room to do some damage there with Vortex up to the north. And if they're able to control this hard camp as they are, with Vortex just running rings around it, tanking it and slowing it down, then that does prevent damage being done to their towers. So it's a nice... I like that choice there by El Nexo to control it as they are in that wave manipulation.
At the tribute, or well, not the tribute, but at Blackheart, we're having Lowell going up against LOL versus 60 here. Kesil is moving in, and Freds as well. Now they don't have to even dodge a hook since Lucifron is already moving back. But this is one of those comps now where Fnatic has from the beginning said, we are not afraid of Stitches. We can deal with him. If you hook us in, we take that as initiation to the fight and we're just going to jump you. That's the idea that they have behind that, at least when we're reaching the later stages of the game. Yeah. And so far it has really worked out for them. We saw a couple of hooks hit home, but not any units taken down yet. 0 kills against 0 kills.
Yeah, you're right. It makes a lot of sense. sense. If they are just wanting to jump straight in anyway into the fight, what is a hook? Unless, of course, we end up seeing fishing hook being taken later on and they land some really juicy ones from long distance. But for now, before that even comes into play, whoop, Alistair in a lot of trouble. He is going to explode.
Yeah, he dashes through them real quickly, but he doesn't stand a chance there. After that first Stormbolt hit him, he basically was dead already. He was trying to escape, but that didn't work. And now Shinobu at the bot lane is taking down the Siege Giants, and he still has 2 there that can help him to destroy that wall. It's also another chest on the map, and since we just saw Tigers die, the bot chest is, of course, without even a contest, going straight to Fnatic.
Exactly. At the same time, though, when they see their opponents down to the bot lane, etc., they are trying to take advantage of that with Vortex up to the top. But at the same time, Lolvis is in a lot of trouble. There was some good bully blocking. Lowell's trying to try and bring him down, but he manages to barely just get out. And, actually almost takes some damage from the cannon there, but, yeah, still does die.
Yeah, and not only him, Grandpa Keta dies as well, and all of the coins are being picked up. Good hook against Shinobu, but he gets immediately shielded. The healing ward is down, everything in place, and Fnatic is so far playing a very nice game. They get the turn in, they are very close to taking down that fort in the mid lane. There is no mule on El Nexo, so they can't heal that up. They got 3 kills already and another free turn in.
Yeah, this is a good start for Fnatic. Good to see. The coordination that they're showing as well at the start of this game is very, very impressive. And as you said, that other turn-in that's coming in now is going to grant them a fort kill. It's going to grant them a bit more damage towards extra walls. Not too much damage has been done by just yet.
The really most important part that we saw in that last fight was not only those 2 kills, it was that they got 8 coins out of it.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. It's not only that they have the coins and they turned them in already, so they are safe, but they took them away from the opponent. I think Stitches was able to get 1 or 2, I'm not 100% certain about that, but it was the kills plus the coins that they got there. Nice dodge, by the way. Kasil here on his Tiger is dodging the hook. Ace of Spades is trying to help him out at the top, and at the bot lane we had Bala doing some damage and is now starting to rotate as the hard camp is pushing in and keeping Alistair busy.
An interesting choice. I mean, I like the strafe choice. There's not really too much stun on the other side of the team as long as you're keeping tabs on exactly what's going to be thrown out at you. It's going to do a lot of damage if it's going to go unchecked. So there is great amounts of potential here in the Fnatic lineup.
It's Shinobu. Shinobu loves strafe. We have that in common. I'm a strafe player, and if not, like if he actually doesn't get the order, no, you pick now Rain of Vengeance because we want to do this and that play, then he always goes for strafe. It's a great talent. He prefers it, and he can play both. Usually when they are going for Rain of Vengeance, they put Kasil on the hero, and Kasil plays a bit of a different build than Shinobu. But yeah, he really loves that. But talking about the talents, the heroic abilities just in general, let's focus once again on what we are seeing for El Nexo. We don't have Puric Bile, even with the damage changes to Gorge. It has been picked up by Stitches here. It's more also, of course, just like gorging the hero and moving him back than only having the Puric Bile in there or like doing damage with Gorge. So the reduction in damage is of course annoying, especially for the level 20 talent when you have hungry Stitches, but it's not really a deal breaker in this case if you want to utilize that. But Odin is going to be very interesting to see now in those fights.
Uh-oh. Well, they're all lying in wait here. I guess waiting also for Valor to come up and help them out if their team fight is going to break out, because it can be a little bit deadly. They will be able to see them, though, very, very quickly. Fred jumps in, looking for Grand PKT. He's going to take a lot of damage here to start things off. He does have Realm Win still available, but it's not even there.
Grand Paquette is nearly down. Shinobu from the side with a strafe. Grand Paquette runs away, and they actually turn around to go into the fight again. Ace of Spades can hope uses answers to healing for himself. Lolver 60 is nearly down, and Vortex is running. He's running away, but Lowell jumps in, takes 1 target down. Arthas is gone. Alistair is about to be dropped. There is no second hit point pool on Odin anymore. Therefore, if Odin dies, he dies as well. It's very much like Tacita now.
And it's something that would actually, in my mind, take a while to get used to, because you're so used to the idea of you jump in with Odin and it ends up falling down and dying, of course, but then you're okay, you're healthy, but then if it does die and you're unaware, like not unaware, but just so used to the previous builds, then it could be scary. But of course, these guys are pros. They know what they're doing. They know what they're up to. And they're just going to go over to easy camp here.
The one thing that's really important to also mention is that in the last fight, we had Fnatic in a position where they wanted to fight. They took that fight on purpose. They really wanted to go in. They didn't try to dodge. They had an advantage. And I was surprised to see El Nexo go in that deep because they knew that they were lacking a talent. They were trying to take down as many structures as possible, but them actually committing to it was a bit of a surprise there.
And they're going to pick up double Relentless, not on Stitches, but also on Arthas. And Giant Killer goes down on the Hammer as well here. So Vortex really wanting to rack through those kills and do a lot of damage. Especially, you know, if we see, who was I thinking, Muradin actually get too far forwards, then it can chew through him.
Yeah, we have also, of course, a change in talents now that level 13 talent for Brightwing is gone. He doesn't have Rewind anymore, so we see Sprint for him. But yeah, this is going to become extremely... Like, the one thing that we need to see is a turn-in. We need to see a turn-in, but we have that turn-in for Nexo now, and what Fnatic is trying to do is just like burst down the boss, and they should be able to do that. They have the DPS there to take it on, and the boss should enable them to move into the mid lane and get another free turn-in, because having this many coins is extremely dangerous. So turn-in is important, and that boss pushing in the top lane is going to help them with that.
Yeah, he's going to go up against, we're seeing the hard camp now head up to north as well, but as you said, it's a free turn. You don't want to be really carrying around this too much. They are going to go down there, and the boss is going to be rivaled. But also, they could probably do quite a good job of pushing down bot lane here. Can Fnatic, and maybe doing something there. And actually, they're giving up the idea of killing off the boss to try and find some defense elsewhere.
They were actually just, I think they were for a second thinking about moving into the mid lane and contesting the turn-in, and then they just realized that they were too late. The boss already suffered so much damage that they just said, okay, Brightwing is going to be able to take care of that alone. We don't need the entire team there, so let's just start splitting, get some experience, and if we are fast enough, we might be able to contest mid, which they weren't. And now they're still on level 14, level 16 soon for Fnatic. That gives them the extra talent. Fnatic is playing a very solid game here. 4 kills against 0, running with the advantages that they have. They got more turn-ins, they took the boss. So it's a very, very solid performance, just roaming from one camp to another and taking those.
Yeah, they're in the right place at the right time. I mean, they've timed things out nicely. The hard camp's up here if they want to take that. They're going to push back the top hard camp first. And then be able to deal with that. And Luciferon's trying to clean up bottom hard camp as well, so...
The nightmare again.
Oh no.
Triple blood for blood taken. Yesterday they played quadruple blood for blood in one game.
God. Oh.
Now we have triple blood for blood, and yeah, that is of course going to be amazing for them, very difficult for the opponent's tanks. So they take another camp, as you already said. They still have that hard camp available to them to the left side. That's another 2 coins. They should definitely turn in with Lowell. He's the one who wants to jump the team, and he has 9 coins. That's 10 in total that they have there.
Yeah.
And then they move into the middle right away.
That will be all right. So an extra 10 coins towards that. They've been really good about their turn-ins, actually. Watching each turn-in as it's gone progressively throughout this game, just the right amount of coins at the right time, straight over there and get it done. And they've timed it out beautifully with the positioning of what we've been seeing here as well from Nexo. So Nexo just trying to push on back up the top with that hard camp now pushing forwards. They'll get the clean up there, but again, they're losing coins down bot. We're seeing Fnatic pick up extra camps everywhere.
Yeah, Fnatic is taking the camps on the right side. They're stealing the camps from Nexo away. They're taking the ones to the left side too. The next fight is gonna be happening on even footing. And oh, I like it. Triple stone skin to count out the blood for blood. Not quite, but yeah.
Take that,
kind of works that way.
It'll help out a little bit, that's for sure. It will. They don't want to be having someone blow up instantly, but again, you can't focus all stone skins onto one person, but you can focus all blood for blood onto one person if you're not careful. So that's the advantage of blood for blood here. Lova 60 spots them all, misses the hammer. Ooh.
Yeah, and then we already have them moving in right now. Oh, the Howling Blast just barely pushed the situation. We're having Vortex immediately moving to the left side, trying to take that right now. I have no idea, by the way, what that sound is.
The sound?
I have no idea what's going on in the studio of the ESL now, boys. But yeah, this is not me, I can promise you that much. So we're having Lolver60 starting to move in here. Actually, Nexo pushes back Fnatic for now, but with the chests that were spawning on the map, it's another opportunity for Fred's Lowell and their team to grab up coins, and they do that. They have a lot of them already, and they're starting to disengage again, trying to run away so that they can just like group up once more and get into position. But Freds might be in trouble here. The hook against Shinobu, he bolts back. In comes Freds with a lightning shield. Oh, but Shinobu is already down at entrance, so the healing just hit too late. But El Nexo is clustered up. They're starting to lose heroes here, and this is the second kill, this time against Illidan. They're losing the coins, and oh, that hook was just
so good.
Yeah, the focus on Lowell after even just getting Shinobu down was brilliant, and they're even able to pick up Tassadar as well as a 3-for-0 trade. As Alistair, it's funny when you see the Odin just dash forwards a little bit, it's quite cute. As they're going to push on, why not? Why not seize the advantage here? They've got 20 good seconds at least to do some big damage to this team.
A lot of patience from El Nexo. They knew they were behind, they were waiting for an opportunity, and they saw it and took it. And Fnatic, well, they were in a great spot. They had a lot of coins, but they just tried to disengage a bit too late. They were split. We had Vala to the left side, the rest of the team to the right of the barricade. And then she gets hooked, and they try to save her. They try to initiate, but that ancestral healing hits a second too late, and Vala dies. I guess if Ace of Spades gets his ultimate in and heals Vala up, then they can take the fight, but without her, it was just not possible. They lose too many heroes. They're still ahead in experience, but they lost one of the keeps at the top lane. They were able to at least kill the keep in the mid lane, also putting some pressure onto the top lane now, but still that fight, that hurt him a lot.
Yeah, this next turn in for me, unless they get a really, really big team fight, is going to be very, very important. And it's actually so cheap for El Nexo at this point because they didn't have that many turn-ins, but were still able to do the damage, that if they can find a way to wiggle on through, they're going to take down the potential of another keep moving through here, as long as they're able to find ample room. So, but Fnatic moving up to the top looking for boss in a sneaky fashion.
Yeah, Fnatic is actually trying to get another advantage here, but that's one of those high-risk, high-reward plays, and you don't really want to do that when you have to move through the watchtower that is taken by your opponent. It's just too obvious. The rotation of El Nexo into the middle to turn in even more coins, and, well, that is putting them in a position where they could pressure mid-keep. They're not going to take it down. First of all, they have to destroy the bottom fort, though. That is still alive. And it looks like Fnatic is just taking the opportunity and starts the bosses. They realize that the opponent is in the mid lane, but they don't have enough time.
They're going to have to try and bait out some kind of fight here. Lucifron goes in for the hooks. Doesn't actually hit anything, though, as the fight is going to occur. Predator's taking a lot of damage on that right-hand side to Alistair, who actually does it. There's the strafe to actually move on forwards, do some damage here as well, but nobody dying off so far, with lots of stain.
Metamorphosis is already used, and Alistair is very low. He's trying to get away on Odin, but I think he's gonna die here. Alistair, he's so low, and Lowell is jumping in again. Vortex to the left side is also trying to disengage Lowell on Illidan. He finally drops Odin, and we're having Lucifron super low in hit points. Two of them now dead. The coins ending up in the hands of Fnatic, and Lowell, he's just not done. He jumps in once again. The tank is also taken out, and Lowell, he just doesn't give up.
Oh, he gets him. Grand PKT manages to get the kill at the end, but now it's 4-on-1. Oh, dear me. And look at this. Fnatic with beautiful sustain and able to keep themselves alive throughout that fight. Really impressive stuff. Just power on forwards and looking for the finish.
Yeah, 4 heroes down. They have 20 seconds to finish this off before Tychus is going to be back, and that should not be a problem for them whatsoever. Of course, the Emerald Wind is a bit annoying and pushes them into the range of the keep, but they have one keep down. That is just all the time that they need. Grand Paqueta doesn't have the damage to push them back here. This is going to be game. Game number 1 on Blackheart's Bay ends in favor of Fnatic against El Nexo here at the ESL Major League. Congratulations to Fnatic.
The saddest Brightwing ever there at the end, Kaldor, who just wanted the attention but couldn't get it. That was poor little Brightwing. But yeah, so Fnatic take the first game. Wow. Considering that they only just qualified for the Major League yesterday and then take on El Nexo in the first game in a very strong game. That is pretty impressive stuff. So I'm looking forward to game number 2. I really want to find out what maps we're going to be on, etc.
By the way, I'm not sure if the audience can hear that, but I think you guys have StarCraft or something in the background that was opening up during the game, and there was like some chat messages and stuff. So I'm not quite sure if you heard that, but yeah.
I couldn't hear it in my ears, so I don't think the stream heard it.
And I had also... what was that music earlier? What was that?
There was music as well?
You're kidding, right?
I couldn't hear a thing. I didn't hear anything. And nor did the... It's only you, apparently. And
okay,
it must have happened because there's an observer PC, and Skype can listen to that. So you heard it. So you're crazy. But nobody else is.
That was like when I just like started to cast and not even let you come to, like, I didn't let a word in from what you said because I'm like, okay, something is happening on there and something is really going down. Like suddenly there was some gangster music playing the entire time and really loud, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, okay,
he's probably gonna shut it off immediately so that they can only hear me. So just like pull through it, and then I was just like trying to give you at some point a cue so that you can jump in again. And now I look over in the chat with a delay, and suddenly people were saying like, "What is he going on about? We can't hear anything. Is that guy crazy?" And in my ear was just the entire time just ghetto music.
Well, I apologize to you, Keldor, but you pulled through. Don't know how it happened.
I have proof. I recorded the game, so don't call me crazy, Twitch chat. I have proof.
Great. I can't wait for that. That's going to be brilliant.
It was just in the middle of the game all of a sudden. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Brilliant stuff. Oh well, sorry about that, man. But yeah, okay. I think soon we're going to be going into game number 2. We've actually seen Fnatic ban mines, so now we are just waiting on Vortex to give us the go on Cursed Hollow.
You know what that reminded me of? Do you remember China? EWC.
Oh yes,
Can you hear me? No, I can't hear you either. Do you have sound? No, I don't have sound. Okay, let's just try to guess what the other one was saying.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That was a long time ago, man. Jeez, wow. Was it 2012? I think it was, right?
Yeah.
2012. Okay, that's not too long ago, but
hey, it's 3 years, and esports is an eternity.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. Yeah, fun times. That's how all events are when you go to, like, especially Asian countries, and there's so much trade fair going on. In Taipei 2 weeks ago, there was some amazing music happening. I'm just like, well, Sean, can you hear me? We'll just keep going, I guess. It'll be fine. All right, but I think we're good to go into the picks and bans here of game number 2. As I have an invite from Mr. Vortex as well. We're just waiting for Fnatic now to start on with game 2's picks and bans. Do we see El Nexo go for a crazy ban? Do we see them do something like an Illidan ban? Is it really that top tier here when it comes to Fnatic's lineup that it is worthy of a ban or something like that?
It's a really good question. I can't give you an honest answer. I could see them ban some, like if they want to go for this bullshit ban strategy on level 1 to pick one of the heroes up, I could definitely see them with an Illidan ban. Just because Fnatic has been playing nothing else but Illidan.
I mean, it gives great rise to the idea, you know, if they do have this one ban and they can get someone off the back of it, Illidan would be a good choice for that. So you bring up a really, really good point there, actually. So let's see what El Nexo is going to go for. Time's ticking down, and normally they're pretty fast and pretty quick with their bans and picks.
Lowell is messaging me the entire time on Battle.net, and he's just like, you remember that moment when he took down like 3 heroes and he chased and he killed Arthas and Brightwing took him out? He's really mad about that. He's like, 1 more second and I would have been a hero. That stupid Brightwing. He really enjoyed that moment, and Brightwing ruined it, yeah.
Oh, poor guy. But hey, he played Illidan well, so let's not take anything away from him at all. That was pretty impressive stuff. He did really nicely there.
He loves the hero.
Yeah.
And there it is, the Illidan ban.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm feeling good now.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen after seeing Lowell. I mean, to be fair, Lowell probably feels quite good now as well, saying, haha, I forced you to ban Illidan, but, you know, again, it being the first ban, it's give and take here with those extra bans.
Lowell and Zamoni were probably the best Illidan players that we had in Europe, and after Zamoni had a bit of a break, he's back now, but I think at this point Lowell is probably the best Illidan player that we're having in Europe. I didn't see too much Blackscore playing on that. He might be able to rival him, but Lowell is definitely... I think he's currently the #1 on him.
Yeah, he looks good. Looks very good. So now what are we going to see from Fnatic? They're taking their time about this, deciding on who they really want to go for, a Stitches or a Zeratul. And it's going to be Zeratul, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, you don't want to give it to LoL versus 60. Like, Black Scorp is probably the best Zeratul that we currently have on the European server, but LoL versus 60 is, in my opinion, a close second. And he's very strong. He's played the hero a lot for El Nexo, so you don't want to give it to him. They dealt very well with Stitches in the last game, so now Stitches can be picked by El Nexo, but you can already see that it's for them not that immediate first pick. I can guarantee you one thing, though. If they don't pick Stitches, then we will see Fnatic go for Stitches Tyrande.
Yeah, oh yeah, those are still available. You've got a good point there. So El Nexo might just want to take it away straight away so that they don't see it being played on Fnatic. As they are taking their time about this, they're thinking about it. They still have technically options available to them, but there is that whole dance around the Stitches that you just mentioned.
Sergeant Hammer is a good option. There are a couple of options that they have. And they picked the
Oh,
Tyrant that
okay.
way. Nice. I like that. That's actually pretty cool. They say, well, Stitches not really a must-have for us right now, but if we give them Stitches, Tyrande, that's too strong. Can we use Tyrande? Can we pick it away right now so that they don't get both? And they decide that they will be able to do that. Now we're having the immediate counter with Stitches being picked by Fnatic, and they're taking the DPS hero, in this case Vala. I guess Sergeant Hammer is going to happen for El Nexo now as the next pick. And together with Hammer, I would say it's going to be that choice of healer.
I would think an Uther. I think taking away from that the combination of Uther and Stitches would be nice. So Hammer and Uther for me would be nice to see on El Nexo's side of things.
They could pick Uther, but I don't think if they go for him that it's really the reasoning between Stitches Uther, because the Stitches Uther comp is nice, but you can do the same thing with the Brightwing. So it's not really like Brightwing puts the extra damage on the polymorph target, and the polymorph lasts longer than the stun, but you can still move. So there are like advantages and disadvantages to both, but you can pull off with both of them. And they decide in this case to actually go Brightwing instead.
All right. Well, they really want some damage now, so I can't think of it. Yeah, it has to be Hammer time, surely. Anything else would be a bit superfluous, really.
Unless they really believe in Tigers. If they really believe in the new Tigers, Alistair actually did a good job on Tigers, like no question about that. But if they really believe in the new Tigers, they might go for it. But if not, then it has to be Hammer.
All right, well, just waiting now. Again, let me reiterate that Fnatic were able to beat El Nexo very recently in a final of a tournament, which is no small feat here in Heroes at the moment. El Nexo considered to be one of the most fearsome teams in Europe. I think, you know, looking at these two, I actually give them favor in the whole of the Major League. Never mind in this match. I mean, these are pretty good teams. These are pretty good teams. We're not prepared are good as well, but these two are looking on top of things. Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, Chen is something that I didn't really see happen here. And that's going to be a very interesting pick. I think that surprises Fnatic too. So we most likely are going to see Fnatic with Vala and a Hammer, which is crazy. The damage on that side is insane. But yeah, you mentioned the tournament where Fnatic won. Fnatic struggled a lot though in the recent past. They struggled in the HCL, they lost a lot of the tournaments where they played in early on because they seemed to get an advantage in the game and then just fall behind by one or two mistakes, and they just started again to get back on track because they are always one of the teams that is in your mind when you think about the best in Europe, and they definitely belong up to the top, but they had a bit of a slump for weeks, and they were very, very disappointed about that and a bit mad as well.
I can imagine when they're trying to rival for those top spots. But now Fnatic, you know, after seeing this Chen pick, and as you mentioned, with the potential of a Hammer, what do you think the next choice is? I mean, it has to be a healer, surely. They have to grab one of those, be it an Uther or whatever, to actually keep going forwards here.
I'm right now really just like still curious about how they are going to play the Chen here. I haven't seen too much Chen play since that, and a lot of the things that happened with Chen at the beginning, the initial reaction by a lot of players was that the Fire Breath build is still decent on him. Hammer is already taken. I mean, what are they going to get besides the healer? Are they going to go for... Tassadar is still there. They could go also Tassadar.
Yeah, they could. Oh.
Nice. I like it. It's Sonya. Sonya is very much played as a mixture between like one of the melee assassins, and I know that Fnatic has been practicing with her. I expected them actually to go in this game because like usually you don't get access to Vala and Sergeant Hammer, so I expect them to change the idea of the original one. But apparently they wanted to stick it out with the Sonya regardless, and gonna play that then together with another healer.
I mean, the damage on the side of Fnatic is unprecedented. This is going to be very scary to go up against for El Nexo. They need to really have some very, very strong picks here in the next two as well. As I say, you know, as you mentioned about the Chen, I'm a little bit curious as to how that's going to play out as well. It's not often we end up seeing that, and what they're going to pick around it. I mean, El Nexo must have come into this game too, at least, especially that Chen pick, with a little bit of a plan, because they're one game down. They need to win this game.
I'm still asking myself, okay, Fred's bronze like Nubarak, okay. I like the new patch. It's fun. It has been
Yeah,
fun so
it's-
far, what we've been seeing. I like this a lot. So completely different pick, something that we haven't seen just yet. We had a Nubarak coming back a bit in the last patch already. At least Alternate liked to really play him. Now he has Rewind on 20 again, so that's something that is tempting to teams. And we're having on Cursed Hollow, great pick, of course, Nazebo, and that could result in us seeing Leap here for Fnatic over Berserker, which we saw earlier.
Yeah, that'd be a good choice, just to get straight on top of him and lock him down pretty quickly. Finally, what are Fnatic gonna pick up? Has to be a healer. So, I mean, I'm not really looking at anything other than Uther here. Is there any other particular choice? You think Malfurion will work out for the idea of Root or
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar?
They could go Malfurion, Rhaegar, or Uther. All of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Root is great for the corridors again on this map.
Yeah.
Rhaegar is great if you're playing with something like Illidan. In this case, that would be Sonya, and there's Rhaegar. There you go.
All right. The ancestral healing also on top of Sonya when she actually pushes forwards is something that can be very, very useful. But anyway, that does it for our bans and picks here going into game number 2. And I think our teams are already getting ready. These guys are fast today. Wow. Okay. There you go. So I'm going to tell that these guys are good to go into game number 2. And again, got to ask you, is there any particular favor you're seeing here in terms of Fnatic or El Nexo? You were giving the favor to Fnatic before, and obviously they did win game number 1. Here in game 2, do you think they're, well, I mean, it's hard to say in this meta, but do you think that their composition is going to win them as much favor as they did in game 1?
I guess the idea of or one of the things that Chen and Anubarak really have for them is that whoever gets hooked, they can jump in immediately and help out. I am wondering if Chen goes for the Wandering Keck and tries to use it as a hook for poor people, jumping behind the target and then rolling him in. We see that actually being played, and I could see here too. So that Chen pick throws me off quite a bit. I would give an edge to Fnatic if not for that, but right now I'm a little bit thrown. I guess let's jump into the game and see what's going to happen there.
All right, let's get it done then as we get into game number 2 between El Nexo and Fnatic.
Game number 2 takes place on Cursed Hollow, and looking to the left side of the map, we are having once again El Nexo. It is in blue, Vortex on Tyrande, Alistar on Azebo, Gran Paquete on Brightwing, Lucifron on Chen, and LOL versus XD on Anubarak in this game. To the right side of the map, we have Fnatic in the 1-0 lead in the best of 3 series here at the ESL Majors. Ace of Spades on Rhaegar, Kesil on Vala, Lowell on Sonya, Frats on Stitches, and Shinobu on Sergeant Hammer in this second game.
All right, let's get into it then. As for now, Freds is going to just sit in mid and be a little bit sneaky. We're seeing the split off of Vala, Rhaegar, and Sergeant Hammer go down to the bot. Meanwhile, up at the top, it's Vortex on Tyrande, by the looks of things. Yes, it is. And we have in Chen as well as Anubarak just heading up to the top against Lowell on Sonya.
Yeah, the Beetle and Sonya, a bit of a staring contest. Sonya contemptuously turns away, and so LOLver60 stares at her ass the entire time. I'm not quite sure if he likes what he sees there, but Lucifron comes in and admires the view as well. Finally, Sonya making a move there. It was about time. And at the bottom lane, we have that tri-lane going up against Alistar and Nazebo.
And just going to push him away out of that lane. It's going to be a little bit difficult for Nazebo with Shinobu there being so annoying. Even the idea of throwing down a wall on top of Shinobu is going to be greeted by a volley of anything that we were going to see from Vala. So we're seeing the rotation down here for LoL versus XT as well as Vortex coming along to help that out.
Yeah, we have also for Tyrande, once again, the Rangers Mark trade taken. We've been talking about this a lot. It was used in the qualification where Fnatic finally got into the Major League a lot. Is the talent that is being taken these days, even over the Sentinel talent, which we've seen before on her. The PS talent not taken any longer by teams, at least not on the European server. A sustain build on Stitches, and this is going to be an extremely interesting game, not only for the reason that we're seeing Anubarak and Chen on the side of Nexo, but also how Sonya is going to come into play here for Team Fnatic, who prioritized Rhaegar over healers like Uther and Malfurion to get that extra burst here with Ancestral Healing to keep heroes like Sonya alive a little bit longer.
Yep, helps out a lot. Anubarak's actually going to just try and jump in on top of Freds up at the middle here, and not enough damage to be able to actually kill him off. There's a nice hook on LoL versus XD, but able to zoom on out of there thanks to Grand PKT.
Yeah, top lane, we have Chen and Sonya going up against each other. And for me personally, it's really the question what Chen is going to use as his heroic ability, because we've seen a lot of teams, especially Beat Our Bakers, experiment with the Wandering Keg. And since they do not have a hook, they could use that to push a target, just like use Flying Kick, jump behind a target and push it in. But in the mid lane, that's where the action apparently is happening right now, as Frats was taken out.
Yep, rare you get to see Brightwing actually get a kill with an Arcane Flare there, but in the end was able to pick that up just behind the wall. It was very, very close on the escape, but did get it. So, oh, running a lot of 16 running into some mines. This isn't a great start in terms of putting themselves in a good spot for this tribute.
Yeah, in the mid lane we still have Lowell and Grandpa Kette against each other. Top lane, that's where Lucifron is soaking additional XP for the team. So they already want to give up the tribute. They just want to try and delay that for as long as they can. There's a 5-man rotation by Fnatic. They're losing a ton of experience for this. I'm not sure if that's really worth it.
Yeah, and I don't think they cottoned on fully to how much that was going on in terms of the resistance there as Lucifron does sit up there. I mean, they must have done. They must have just wanted the tribute, and they're giving up that experience. But as the time goes on, as you say, that level difference is gonna make a bit of a problem when it comes to that level 10.
That awkward moment when you're trying to say difference twice in a row, right?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do it, man. Not allowed.
I'm sorry, but like I know that all too well.
Yeah, casters, man. That's what we got to do somehow.
Yeah, suddenly you're stuck in your train of thought and you're like, damn it, I need another word and I need it fast. And then your co-caster completely throws you in again.
Cheers, bro. Cheers.
No worries. I'm very, very certain that you'll get the chance to avenge yourself there. Take revenge on me. Okay, but yeah. Awkward caster moments aside, we have Hardcam now taken up at the mid lane. And that is going to help push the mid lane in a bit for the team. But yeah, as you already were saying, like that level advantage that we're seeing for Alexa now will lead them into an early level 10 that gives them the opportunity to take one of the objectives on the map. They can try and also capitalize on that extra talent by just like taking team fight. And I feel that Fnatic will have to move back in this case. Right now they can still fight for the tribute, but the next one is going to be a completely different matter.
Yeah, ooh, a little bit of a burrow up towards here from Volvus. XD tries to get on top of Fred, but oh, that's a well-placed healing ward there as well, just in case the fight was to go on. So, good stuff there by Fnatic to lock that down. But as you said, it could spiral out of control. The longer this is delayed, it could get tricky.
Yeah, as we said earlier in the draft mode, there's a lot of mobility on this lineup just with Chen and Nubarak alone already, because of the flying kick and the impale that Nubarak has. And he uses again the Burrow Strike, and down goes Stitches. Stitches actually not having the chance there. And it's always this moment when you try to hook a team in and suddenly they're like, yeah, well, you can hook me in anytime you want because we are trying to jump you guys anyways.
Yeah, and also in the end, as much as the healing totem I liked at the top was good, but it seemed like Nexo just made better use of theirs, using it during as the fight was going on, where we saw a little bit wasted for on the other side there for Fnatic. So, and they're going to hit 10 soon. They are going to hit 10 soon, and getting that tribute at the start isn't something that they necessarily really needed with that 10 coming up, but they're doing well,
Yeah, they're doing very, very well, and I just wonder if it's also going to be the case when we have ultimates for both teams on the board. Oh, we have Web taken, and yes, it is Wandering Keg. I am liking this already. This is going to be fun.
I haven't seen the web being used all that much, so but it has changed, right? I think there's the level 20 challenge for it is a little bit different, but you know, it remains to be seen whether it'll actually take that, because it's quite the commitment.
Web always gives me nightmares, because in the early alpha there was a bug at some point that if you played a Nubarak and Zagara on the same team, and Nubarak would web a hero and Zagara would then maul the webbed hero, it would eliminate the hero out of the match completely. That means once that web is done, you could see nothing on the map anymore, you couldn't move, and the hero was just gone. And people abused that for days.
I must admit I didn't quite catch on to that one, but that's pretty impressive that something like that would occur. It's so powerful it eliminates them from the game.
Yeah, it's not as powerful anymore, but Web can still be a nuisance, especially when you want to only like lock down one target, and that's something that they can of course now easily do. Another tribute ending up now in the hands of El Nexo. They're doing very well here so far, but I can't wait for that first team fight. It's going to be so awesome to see the Wandering Keck in here, and it's such a disruptive ult. You can really just use it as a poor man's hook, just jump behind a target, use the Wandering Keck ultimate, push it into lane, push the rest away, and try to eliminate him. That works very well. But of course they lose a bit of tankiness since they don't have the triple panda.
Yeah, they're sitting around in mid here, and what the whoa, Fred, that hook, that was off point, but regardless, yeah, the team fight is going to be good. It's going to be Ancestral Healing, Strafe, Wrath of the Berserker, Putrid Bile, as well as Napalm taken on the other side of things, and they were looking for Lucifron down to the south, but it's going to be hard to kill off that Shen.
Yeah, and, well, Berserker on Sonya is of course going to do quite a lot of damage. The damage potential here is huge. Leap not taken. Personally, I find that, well, I guess it's still alright. I was really thinking they would go for Leap since we have that Ravenous Spirit still in there. And with Wandering Keck, well, I guess it barrel roll in the Wandering Keck is in this case actually like one of those things that can work for you and against you. If you push them out of the Ravenous Spirit, you have a problem. If you push them away from the Zebo, then everything is fine. So both of that has to be considered later.
Well, looks like this is going to be contested. We're already seeing Fnatic move into position. They have the strength here with Stitches, who moves forward. They're trying to jump on top of him. There's the Keg, pushing Kessel away from this engagement. Oh my god! He was actually able to negate so much damage with that.
Oh, Fred's got away, and that's exactly the problem that we was talking about. The Ravenous Spirit was on Fred's, but then he gets pushed away by the Keg and actually survives. Alistair, on the other hand, gets taken out, but the initiation kills Lowell here. Ace of Spades moves in, and that Keg, dude. That ult is just so much fun, and it's super annoying.
It would have been cool if they were able to kill Freds with that, but in the end they didn't. Oh, he just barely misses a hook on Lucifron, and they should be able to pick up this tribute. Has to move out of the way, though, of that Impale to make sure it's not going to go on. But actually, they've got a lot of health again. They're coming back in.
Yeah, they're coming back in, and they're going for Freds. Hunter's Mark was already on, and in this case, Freds is moving back. I don't think that he has the cooldown on Devour ready to go for another health pool. Oh, the hook on the other hand, but nope, they can't get the kill. It is Sergeant Hammer that gets dropped by Luna Flav. Well done, and Lolver 16 in the meantime takes the tribute and curses Fnatic. Well done by El Nexo, and of course what helped a lot was the 13 talent that they got earlier.
Yeah, every wall is going to get pushed in here. Bottom is very, very vulnerable to a huge wave now pushing forward. They're going to take on top. They already lost the top four, I should say even. Mid is very much under siege. So, bit of a hard time here for Fnatic. It comes down to, I guess, to the little bit of a level lead that we had before going on for El Nexo.
Yeah, that fight at the top really turned once they hit the level 13 and could use that extra talent. So we have 4 kills against 1. Fnatic at the beginning wasn't doing too badly. As long as they were able to stay alive during that Ravenous Spirit, they could always start their comeback there. But then when the 13 hit and El Nexo turned it around again, it was just like so good for them. And it seems like Fnatic's trying to set a trap, but well, there comes Gran Paquete. And they're moving in. Stitches, what are they going to do here? The jump in by Lucifron, Wandering Keck already being used. Nice stuff by Tyrande. And they're pushing Freds back. The Ancestral Healing hits immediately. Kessel in the back with a very good strafe, and Ace of Spades gets away as well.
And there's the web onto Lowell. He's going to be able to bust out of that quite quickly, though. As I say, Ace of Spades keeping himself alive. Well done. Nobody goes down in that fight, despite Lucifron being in the middle of it and pushing everybody around. Wow. So El Nexo are just going to retreat back to their lines. Likewise, we're seeing Fnatic having to take down that hard camp as well that was pushing on. And that's going to give them a boss, potentially.
Yeah, they're going for that. I would expect Fnatic to try and aim for their own boss, but it looks more like they're trying to contest what's happening at the bottom left. I'm a bit afraid they might be too late here. Oh, there is already the far side being used. They can move in right now, at least for a hook. They get the hook versus Lolver 60. Are they fast enough dropping him? No, they're not. The stuns are too
Good move there by El Nexo, and that gives them the opportunity to contest the top boss if that is to go down here from Fnatic. 2 levels ahead at the moment, and it's not even by like a small margin, it's actually by 2 full levels here. And that gives El Nexo a lot of breathing room. They're going up to the top boss.
Yeah, they're going from boss to boss, and Fnatic has to react now. They're not in a position any longer where they can be active on the map themselves. They have to be like passive and react to what El Nexo does. Not a good position to be in, especially when your opponent hits level 16 any second. So they are nearly two. They're actually like fully 2 levels behind this, and with that, they have a big problem. They need to soak experience, they need to defend against the boss, and they need to avoid fights.
Well, there we go. There's a level 16 talents now kicking in here for Nexo. They're going to take Epicenter for Anuba Rack down on the bottom of this. Ooh, they're going to actually be able to challenge this?
Rega is not with them. This is extremely bad, but okay, they had to move back here because Chen was already running a bit low. Without Rega, going into a 4 versus 5 is not really the best idea. The position is good for Sergeant Hammer to dish out damage, but also for Alistar if he uses ultimate. There comes the Starfall already. They're going straight for that. And yeah, they can't. The threat is way too low already. You can't initiate into a Starfall like this.
Yeah, Nexo kind of running away from in this position now. Every time the web actually hits someone, the sound is muffled completely.
Yeah.
Was that before as well, when you were observing, or is that a new thing?
Nobody really played Anuba Rack.
That's a good point.
Before.
Yeah. Well, I found out something now. Oh, jeez. So
yeah, but it's the same here as well. The sound is just like muffled as it would be if you are a player.
yeah, we get to experience from inside the web for a tantalizing couple of seconds.
Well, 16 talents, 17 also nearly taken. The only thing for Fnatic to do here really is to get the experience, get to level 16 and start a fight with level 16.
Yeah.
On level 16, they have to win a fight, or they have to at least put a curse on the opponent, do something that gives them enough experience to catch up, because once we have level 20 for El Nexo, Fnatic is going to start losing keeps if they don't start losing those even before.
And yep, just taking towards mid now, just pushing that out. It's prime little opportunity to get all of these lanes pushing, and challenging these tributes for them for Fnatic is going to be very, very difficult. They don't have that level 16 talent yet, so I think they just have to give this one up surely and get the experience.
There's no way they are going to fight for this. There's absolutely no way. The only thing that they could try and do is delay it to give them more time to soak experience, and the only thing that would work with that is a Tyrande that they don't have since the opponent has them. Going in with a hero and try to just like force a delay with interrupting the channel is not working because it's way too easy.
Well, going to take the easy camp down to the bottom here. Likewise, we're seeing the easy camp being taken up to the top and looking to take hard camp on their side of the map as well. But this is the point of contention now where level 16 is kicked in, so maybe they'll find a little bit of room to try and rival this hard camp, or are they just going to look for damage elsewhere? Because that's the only place that we could see El Nexo at this point, and they realize that.
They have to fight now. Fnatic has to fight, and El Nexo is moving back. The Stitch,
Oh!
that move was great, but they'll get the stun. The counter stun is already there. But the 16 talents now with the double blood for blood. And another thing that has been taken here is the hover siege mode on Sergeant Hammer. So once we have level 20 for Shinobu, it is going to be what's it called? Nexus Frenzy. With El Nexo in the game. I was struggling for a second.
It's actually graduating range.
You are right.
Yeah. If they do go Nexus Frenzy as well, though, that's going to be a lot of range. Oh my god.
I am surprised to see that talent here. I wonder if he misclicked.
Maybe.
I just assumed automatically that it would be... oh, there comes the Kang again and the Starfall. But Lucifer is very low, and Lowell, he wants him. Lowell goes full ham on Chen but gets stunned. And we have the Ravenous Spirit coming in as well. Alistar did a lot of damage with that, but the Healing Wall is counteracting it already. And Chen got, of course, taken out by Lowell here. Good job on Sonya. They're not done yet.
Yeah, I'm going to continue on this pursuit. Thankfully here for El Nexo, they do have that wall intact up to the top, so they can retreat back to the safety of that. And they had the two camps pushing up to the north as well, down to the south. So they're going to get themselves a keep off the back of that fight, despite actually losing a member, which is going to keep Fnatic busy on the other side.
That curse is just hurting.
Yeah.
That curse does so much work now. The top keep, as you said, is down. And the boss is spawning again to the left side of the map. And we're having El Nexo going into position for this right away. Even with 10 seconds on Chen before he's going to be revived. They're going to try and take that. And it looks like Fnatic will be attempting to contest it. And, well, they should be able to. And El Nexo realizes that it moves back.
Yeah, Chen won't be here for a while, so it's going to be very difficult for them to really do too much about that. They did see the bit of damage that had been done to it as they came in, so they know that they were there for a moment. And now they're just going to sit around and wait for the potential attempt. They could land a hook. If they land one, well, they're just going to go straight for the boss anyway.
Well, right now the boss is going to be taken, but we have El Nexo moving in from the back, trying to go for Shinobu. Shinobu gets stunned. Hunter's Mark is on, but he gets away. Lucifron already used the Wandering Keg, is out of it now. Web being used. We could all hear that for the second, and the hook again against Volver 60. And he does have no rewind. He does have no rewind for the E.
Good attempt. Here comes the Ravaging Spirit. They were trying to get on top of Siege Tank. And actually, whoa, that Ancestral Healing was used very, very quickly there on top of Sergeant Hammer. But still keeps him alive, gets Chen out on the kill, and Vortex gets grabbed in as well, he falls.
That is perfect for Fnatic now. Those are the kills that they need. First of all, the pressure against the Nubarak. And back in the day, Nubarak with his rewind could just double use his Burrow Strike to move away from the fight again after he initiated. In this case, it was still in cooldown, so he couldn't get away. They had to start fighting for him, and it was the immediate drop against Chen and then also Tyrande, which just allowed Fnatic to not only get 2 kills and close the gap in experience to a certain extent, but get the boss now as well. And they can simply move bottom boss into top boss and can also probably grab the next tribute that should soon appear on the map.
Yeah, really nice little turnaround here for Fnatic in the later stages of this game to really bring the fight to El Nexo, who they really didn't want to be giving a true lead to at all in this game. I mean, they have the Stitches pick. They have a prime opportunity here to be able to take this series 2-0 if they keep this on. This is very good, despite the top lane pushing as it is.
Yeah, the top lane, of course, is the problem that they're having now. With the keep lost, this is going to push for the entire duration of the game. And here comes the boss taken, and the first one already eliminated. A lot at the bottom lane is now going straight for that wall, and Fnatic will get the keep at the top. Well, they could actually now move to the bottom and take that tribute. It depends a bit on what they are trying to go for, but the experience that they can gather up by just eliminating the structures over here is, of course, gigantic. So they are on level 19, as is their opponent, and that massive experience lead that we saw earlier for El Nexo, it's gone.
Yep, completely. Completely. We're seeing a big, strong push move at the top as well. That now takes down that fort. They're going to have to reinforce this. There's no way they can give up this wall as well as the potential keeper would fall. And, well, let's see if they're going to be able to take this engagement right, because that boss presents a big, big problem.
Yeah, and that boss is hitting hard, like taking the first tower down within a second. Shinobu in the back has, of course, thanks to the graduating range here, a very nice position and can always push them back. It's very difficult to initiate into this. And we're having an experience lead now for Fnatic, and they are trying to get the keep here. And with the boss still on half health, they have a good chance of achieving that.
Shinobu sieges up again, just out of range, but that's going to continue on further as time goes on. As Lucifron is now in range of it, being barraged here. Being slowly whittled down, but the boss is going to fall, and now this is the opportunity where Lucifron's going to try and jump in.
Yeah, he jumps in with the Wandering Keg, is immediately pushing in the back, and Stitches is already gone, and Shinobu might die as well! Yes, he goes down as Alistar is using his Revenant Spirit. Once again, Web being used, and Kazel comes out of it just to find himself surrounded by opponents. 3 heroes dropped, a 4th about to go down, an Ace of Spades. I'm sorry, buddy, but you're not going to make it either.
Nope, they keep on top of him. Lucifron's going to jump and jump and jump, and, well, All vs XD tries to get in there. The Impale Ace of Spades. This is... He's going to get out.
Yeah, he's going to get out. But the question is still, is he going to get away? He needs to TP. He needs to use his B, and he does.
Yeah.
And you know what? El Nexo makes actually a very good move. They ignore him and just go for the kill. Because the more time you spend chasing down a hero, the more time you lose where your opponent is going to revive his dad. So in this case, it was a good choice, letting him just like me.
Ignoring him, looking for the kill on the core. Ace of Spades can be our ignored Brightwing of this engagement as they try and take down a healing totem, but it's not going to be enough. A really good turnaround there by El Nexo, who are up against it. A lot of pressure on top of them, but that means it's now 1-1 here in this best-of-3 series.
Yeah. GG. El Nexo takes the game here on Curse Solo, and we're going to go into game number 3 in just a bit here in this best-of-3 against Fnatic at the ESL Major League.
Cool stuff, cool stuff. Really back and forth. Like a lot of moments there where you could see both teams getting an opportunity to, I want to say, snowball forwards as long as they were able to keep the momentum on their side and take good fights. But there were chops and changes in that game. So very, very cool to see both teams being able to stack up against one another. All right, well, we'll just find game number 3 as we tell them to go for bans and picks.
All right, yeah, game 3.
It was really well played by El Nexo, and it really worked out with that Wandering Keck that they used there, and with the Anubarak, isolating one hero, focusing another one down. That was well played.
Yeah, very well done. I wasn't expecting the Chen pick to work out for them as well as it did, that's for sure. And it's also nice to see even the web wrap, even being able to lock people down in that during the later parts of an engagement, when you're having to when your entire team is having to focus the web wrap and make sure you can get that person out quickly, it is a really annoying mechanic to actually work against in those fights.
Yeah, one of the things that really posed a problem to Fnatic is that the whole idea behind picking Stitches didn't work. Hooking a target in was not as successful as they were hoping for. They got, I think, 1 or 2 kills. The Newbury kill at the boss at the bottom lane was one of the important ones. But every single time they used it, immediately we had 2 heroes starting their own initiation. Chen jumping in, using Wandering Keck, and Anubara coming in with a Burrow Strike and using his web to isolate one of the heroes. So they could keep a lot alive there. And I feel another problem for Fnatic was really that early on in the game they fell this far behind that they were, I think, 1.5 levels behind when El Nexo hit level 10. So those 2 curses against them, they did quite some work. Fnatic had a good opportunity to start a comeback here, but El Nexo played this very nicely.
And I'm not going to be fooled out by it this time here, Kaldor. We're going back to Cursed Hollow. As I just... For me, in that first week, my brain couldn't handle the idea of playing the same map twice. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be Cursed Hollow again. El Nexo is ready to pick and ban. We're just waiting for Fnatic to ready up as well. So it's going to be interesting to see the picks and bans, considering we've just seen this map, and see if El Nexo really want to go for similar picks. Because, as you say, it's the idea of using these skills like Chen's barrel, etc., in these tight corridors where you can be isolated. The barrel is actually pretty irritating. Once you get hit by it in those narrow corridors, you're not likely going to be able to avoid anything like that. It's going to push you back quite far.
Mm. Yeah, I know that Fnatic played against this a couple of times, against the Wandering Keck. In this game, it didn't really work out for them. I don't really think that they expected an Uberak, especially not with web. I have not seen that in ages. So I wonder how they're going to react to this. And I have to give some credit to El Nexo when it came to drafting. They did a great job. For a lot of people, it might sound very surprising when they saw that Tyrande was picked first, but that was also to pick her away from Stitches. And the rest of that draft worked very well with that. So the early fights that we are seeing with Zeratul and Stitches always contested are interesting ones. Now it's a different ballgame though, because Fnatic has first ban, first pick. And that means that we don't have Illidan banned out anymore, and that poses a constant threat during that entire draft phase now to El Nexo, because they know that Fnatic really wants that hero.
Yeah, so Fnatic is going to get first ban here to start things off, as they have plenty of options to them. They could go for a Tyrande, and they are going to go for a Tyrande to start things.
Tyrande once again banned, so that we don't see the Stitches and the Stitches and Tyrande comp. Fnatic wants most likely to go for their Vala first pick again, that they already showed us in game number 1 when they went for the exact ban, the exact first ban. El Nexo reacts the same way they did in the first game, and now Fnatic can pick either Tyrande or whatever hero they prioritize here. The idea to get Tyrande out of the frame is that you don't end up, if you go for Vala right now, or if you go for Sergeant Hammer now, that you don't end up with an opponent that can play Tyrande Stitches, which is an extremely good combo to drop a single target.
They may, I'm thinking about this. Of course they pick Stitches as their first pick into game 2, well, their first and second pick, but they may do you think they'd let Vala slide on the first one, considering El Nexo wasn't quite as keen of rivaling that in the second game? You think they could leave it on for another pick? El Nexo gets 2 picks though, so...
Yeah, that's why. If they don't get her now, then El Nexo could go Sergeant Hammer Vala.
Yeah.
Or Tacita and Vala or Sergeant Hammer and keep options for a melee assassin up. But in this case, they are discussing that now, as you can see as well. I mean, we are very down, and they decide at the end to go for Vala again, as already called. So El Nexo It's going to be the interesting question how they are going to react to that. The Stitches seems an obvious choice if you have a double pick, but what are they going to get with the Stitches? Is it again Brightwing, which they chose in the first game, or are they starting to just like change it up a bit?
Well, we're just waiting now. As let's see what they do go for. If they went for the Stitches, that would be cool. That would be cool to see. They already got that in the first game, although it didn't go quite as well for them as they would have liked. That's for sure. So,
This is really tricky right now.
Yeah.
And the one thing that they of course know too is that they don't want to repeat everything they did in the first game because they lost that game and that
Exactly.
draft worked out very well for Fnatic. So they need to change up something. And one of the things that they were really annoyed with was that Zeratul that kept Illidan alive in the first game, and that's why they're picking Zeratul here first, because they're saying if we don't get this guy, yeah, sorry, it's Tacita, of course, my bad. If they don't pick Tacita, if we don't pick Tacita, they're going to take him and going to pick Illidan again, and then we're screwed.
Yeah, but yeah, you're entirely right, because it was the Tassadar Illidan right after that Valor, so it provides so much ample shielding for any kind of melee you want to go for. So it's a nice pick for El Nexo to take that away from them. But what do they couple it with? Technically, they did go for Tychus in that game, so they could go back into that. And as much as Alistair did play it well in that first game, you know, I think there's better picks. Oh, whoa.
I like it.
All right,
like
then.
This is cool. So they have Illidan now. Lolver 60s playing Illidan, and they were thinking about this a long time. So right now, Fnatic, they already know what they have to deal with, and they're gonna start encounters as fast as they can. There is still Stitches on the board. It's still a hero that you can pick, and they know that now too. But of course, they know how strong this hero is, and one of the things that they are thinking about now is, okay, what are we gonna do with Rhaegar? Because that is the best healer for Illidan. And they are currently thinking, well, what happens when we pick Rhaegar? First of all, we would have to pick Rhaegar now. And second of all, if we pick Rhaegar, does it really work with our combo? Or do they just simply then pick Usa and have a very similar thing? So that's one of the things that they have to consider now. Or at least that if they play against the Rhaegar, which is the likely choice for El Nexo with this comp, that Fnatic has something to interrupt his healing or lock him down during the times when Illidan is in trouble.
I really like that El Nexo have kind of brought the fight to Fnatic in the picks and bans as aggressively as they have done here, because this really has a little bit of a strong statement attached to it. But the great thing about Fnatic's first pick with Valor is that it is so flexible. So you can still do things like this of going Hammer and saying, well, okay, we're not playing that kind of melee comp, and that is a powerhouse team so far.
That's really sexy what they have now. And with no healer taken yet, they can also just say, okay, we're going into our tank now. Then the question is, which tank do you go for? Do you still go Stitches, or do you say like, all right, we don't care any longer? Stitches, who is that? We're going to go into Muradin. Stitches is a very likely choice still. He is just simply a great hero to play. The only thing that he doesn't really provide is enough lockdown. So the picks here are very, very cool. A lot of damage now for Fnatic, and El Nexo is going to have a problem with their range DPS. They could go into Tychus again, which they already played in the first game on Blackheart's Bay. This time they have a complete different team comp, but they need something to just rival that. And oh my god, like I was just talking about it. Look at it, there it is. They say, nope, Rhaegar is too strong with Illidan. Even if they pick Uther here, which is great and can keep Illidan alive, we need to take that ancestral healing away.
Really cool little stuff going on here in this picks and bans. And now El Nexo, they have two choices available to them. So they can grab themselves another damage if they want to. I don't think they necessarily need to right now, because Fnatic have their damage rounded out and good to go. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like an Azebo as a fifth pick from El Nexo on the other side. But second, third and fourth, surely it's got to be frontline and heal.
They need, well, they can actually wait with the healer. I don't think that Fnatic is going to play a double healer comp with this. Yeah, I don't think so. So what they could really do is just like wait with the healer a little bit longer. I don't think it matters too much to them if they're going for an Uther or a Brightwing. Both of them are great heroes to work with. They go for Chen again.
Wow.
For Wandering Kek, most likely once more. It works well on this map, as we've seen in the last game. And the thing is, if they go for a Nuborak 2, then they have 3 melee heroes already, and that is maybe a bit too much jumping potential there.
I'm still wondering what Fnatic is gonna get. And once again, the whole thing I want to point out is that nobody picked Stitches.
Yeah, he's just gone by the wayside. There's still the potential, I think, from Fnatic to pick it up, but, well, there's going to be Brightwing. But yeah, it's so far down the line. That's the thing that's pretty crazy here about the non-Stitches pick.
Mm. This draft is very cool. All the drafts have so far been very, very interesting because we have a lot of mind games going on between them.
Yeah, definitely. With Nexo going for the Illidan as quickly as they did. And, well, it's going to be Sonya on Fnatic's side of things. And who is going to be a final pick? Maybe something like a Muradin to complement.
They need a tank. They definitely need a tank. They cannot simply play it only with Sonya. That just doesn't work. They need something else to really put a front line. And unless they try something completely crazy, there are only two choices. It can only be Stitches or Muradin.
I was going to say, are you ready for the Diablo? But no, probably not. Probably not.
If that was a Skay and our Aragi, then we would see the Diablo now, I feel. But Fnatic, I highly doubt that we are going to see them play Diablo.
Yeah.
Not that I would mind, though.
No, go for it by all means, but maybe not. All right, so just waiting now. They only have a little bit of time, and it's going to be the Muradin.
Muradin, yeah? Stitches who?
He's not here, guys. I don't know what to say. Stitches got thrown out of the party. Poor guy. Well, Nexo, I only feel Nazeebo, for me personally.
Come again? Sorry.
I'm only feeling a Nazeebo. I don't see another way, really.
For damage, has to be Nazeebo or Tychus, right?
Yeah.
One of the two.
And they did favor Tychus. I mean, he was their 5th pick in the first game.
Yeah, in
so
the first game, but that was Blackheart's.
Yeah.
Now we are on a different map, and, well, it worked well in the first game for them. Or, well, first game off on the Cursed Hollow, I'd say.
Yeah. So Nazeebo could be it. Just waiting for Nexo to round out their ideas here, going up against a lineup like this on the side of Fnatic that does have a lot of damage potential. And obviously that Ancestral Healing will come into play here from Rehgar, which will keep that front line nice and sturdy.
And they have one healing word with this, Fnatic that is. Because I'm looking at damage now, and, well, we have, first of all, Storm. We have Illidan with his right-click damage, and they go Jaina. They played Jaina with Zeratul most of the time. There's not a lot of, well, I don't know, like we've seen a lot of Berserker on Sonya. It's a great talent. I think they're gonna go Berserker, but if I would play the Sonya in this case, my fingers would already itch to go for Leap.
Yeah. Because
leaping Jaina, a target that you can just like drop so easy, jump in, go for a spear, and then just slam, and she should be gone. But that's of course what we are seeing Brightwing and Tassadar for, to keep her alive.
Well, this is going to be interesting. It's 1-1. I didn't expect it to go any other way than a 2-1 situation here between these two teams, considering past form between them. As now, well, apparently for a moment I am playing for... Who am I playing for? You were kicked from the lobby.
Me?
No, I was kicked from the lobby.
I was like, no, I'm still there.
No. Okay, so I'm now back in. They couldn't switch me and LoL versus XD around. So I was playing for...
Nah, you have too much hair. They don't like that. They're not used to it yet.
Ah, true. So that's a good point, man. That's a good point. Sorry for the bad mana kick. No problem. Okay, so they're getting good to go. As... correct me if I'm wrong, but Fnatic are from a lot of different countries, right? I think Shinobu is even from America. Does he play from America? Or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Shinobu plays from America. He's East Coast though, so his lag is
okay.
not too bad. We have 2 Italians in the team right now and 1 French guy. The thing is, Lowell always claims that he's from Switzerland, but I don't believe him. First of all, his French is way too good, so I always put him in with the French guys and tell him he plays French, but that's all right. So, yeah.
Wow.
So 1 French guy, 1 from Switzerland, 2 Italians, and US boy.
He wants to be from that upper money country in Switzerland, that's for sure. But, oh well, yeah, being French, he can be French, that's okay, that's fine. Okay, we're loading up onto Cursed Hollow for game number 3 here at the ESL Major League, as it's going to be the second time we've seen this map in this series, but it was Fnatic's pick. So let's get into things, Hollow.
All right, guys, game number 3 on the same map that we saw in the last game. We have Cursed Hollow once more. It is the last map in the best of 3 series between Fnatic and Team El Nexo. To the left side, Fnatic with Ace of Spades on Rhaegar, Frats on Sonya, KSL plays Vala, Lol on Muradin, and Shinobu on Hammer. Vortex, on the other hand, starting for El Nexo here to the right side in red, is playing Jaina. We're having Lucifron on Chen, Tassadar played by Alastor, Grand Paquette on right wing, and LOL versus XD playing Illidan. So a bit of a reverse draft when if you remember the first game where we had Illidan Tassadar played by Fnatic. That was something that El Nexo wanted to eliminate here in the draft, and they did very well with that. So let's jump in and see who is going to get ahead here and who takes the best of 3 series today.
We're already seeing Lol and Freds move into a little position where they could potentially try and catch someone off guard if they do walk forwards. And speaking of which, Lol versus XD got a bit too close. Oh. Well, yeah.
They did not expect that somebody would really walk into them, apparently.
That was very close. Very close.
Gold. That was gold. Illidan moving in, and he's like, oh, I think this bush is already taken. All right, I'll go back.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. Well, at the same time, Kezil and Grand PKT are going to be at bot for now. We're seeing the tri-lanes probably... well, Fred and Lol has actually found Lol versus XD again. They're actually jumping very, very aggressively on top of him. Lol versus XD tries to get out of there, but nah, not going to work.
Yeah, gets blown apart there, so good job by Freds and Lol. They kind of made up for that, the mistake, but that surprise moment that we had. I'm not quite sure who was more surprised in that situation, but Lol was pretty happy. Well, not Lol, but Illidan was happy that he got away there, but then in the end he gets dropped by the two of them regardless.
Yeah, and they're going to end up moving down towards bot with Grand PKT just trying to hold on there, not doing too badly. Actually really rivaling this position on the watchtower. They could get folded onto here as well versus XD as well as Vortex moving down. Alistair's there as well, but here comes Shinobu.
Yeah, Shinobu's already moving in. Frats is very low though, and Illidan is chasing him down, but Vortex will die as well, so it's trade 1-for-1 in this case. 3 versus 3 the levels with a slight lead in experience at this point for El Nexo. The Spanish Armada is doing their thing.
Bizarre little movements here with these small skirmishes going on at the start, all really being forced by Fnatic's attentiveness to trying to grab watchtowers and being super active in between these lanes. So a cool little start to this game.
Yeah, and also adjustments in talents. We didn't really talk about that yet, but let's talk about it real quick. Okay. We have on level 1 for Muradin Reverberation taken, and that is a result to especially Illidan. They want to make sure that Illidan, when he jumps in, just has a reduction on his attack speed. And that's one of the things that they just are able to get with that. So that's a direct counter to the picks that we're seeing for El Nexo, and I like it a lot. We also have a double Regeneration Master on the side of El Nexo, which you don't see all that often. We're having it first of all on Chen and then also taken on Illidan, and usually you don't have Regeneration Master on Illidan. Instead you have the Evasion talent taken.
And at the same time, just holding on strong up to the top here. Should be able to grab this tribute, although lost by 60 as well as Vortex, and we're seeing Tassadar come in for the aid. Grand PKT also here, teleports in. Lol versus XD takes a lot of damage on the start of that fight though. That's going to cause him a few problems. Really needs to stay close to Grand PKT here to get himself up and running, but I mean the tribute's already gone.
Yeah, and LOL versus XD, like the balls of steel, no HP and moves in right to the front. Nobody initiated, so that wasn't a problem for him here. But yeah, they moved back and started to take one of the hard camps, but Fnatic is expecting that, and they're moving in. It's just a few seconds too late. Or is it? No, it's not! No, it's not! They go in and they can't contest it! The full rotation is on, but Vortex gets his Blizzard in. Lowell is low and goes down, and that is kill and camp for El Nexo.
Oh, that was the theory's cool behind it, but in the end, it was almost a desperation attempt at trying to contest that because it was that so close to being captured there by El Nexo. And now it's going to be a tribute down to the bottom, which is going to be hard for them to deal with. We're seeing Sonya as well as Muradin being quite far away for a second. They need to get in here quick.
The big part was really that we had the immediate rotation of the other El Nexo players. That was really the big victory here for them. And they're going for the tribute. Nice interrupt by Lowell, trying to buy some time for Shinobu to get into position with them. Level 7 talents are available to all of the players in the game. And this time it looks like Shinobu might be the one who takes position, but Alastor, yes, with the Storm can interrupt it.
Ace of Spades is pretty isolated here. Pretty isolated up to the top, which could cause a few problems depending on whether or not Alistair and Vortex want to give him some room. still just the delay continues on. And Brightwing went down to bot lane to get some experience, but they realize there's a way. And actually trying to get Wall versus XT before Grand PKT can even be there. Manages to save him.
Yeah, Blizzard used by Jaina, but the tribute ends up in the hands of Fnatic. They are chased for a few seconds, but the Stormbolt is doing work, so Lowell gets away, as does the rest of the team. No kill yet. A slight experience lead that we are seeing of Nexo. Nothing major here, but 2 tributes ending up in the hands of Fnatic, so they are probably going to be pretty happy with how this match went so far.
Vortex going to have to go back home. Not got that much mana. As Volo versus XT as well as Lucifron sitting up at the top now. Trying to put some pressure on here. The hard camp has been taken by Fnatic down to the south. So at least that will start pushing through mid. And they need that considering that they lost a tower in that mid location.
KSL at the bottom lane is currently trying to push Grand Parquette back and get the heartbeat in here. The teams are now absolutely even in experience, and the hard camp that we see in the mid lane, that is doing a lot of work already, pushing them in. The Blizzard, of course, the countermeasure here together with the Storm, do a lot of damage to all those mercenaries. But the experience is really looking very good for Fnatic. So far, their start into this game has been a lot better than what we've seen the first time that Cursed Hollow was played today.
Yeah, good catch up, and Lucifron has to be careful. He jumped out in the right direction against them there, though, so should be completely okay. And even gets himself a healing totem.
Yeah, bad tribute position now for Fnatic. They have to cross the entire map to end up down there. The good thing for them is that they have a Siege Giant camp that is pushing the top lane, but I'm not sure if they can really interrupt Vortex and Lucifron long enough to have the entire team in position to contest that tribute. Oh, but they are not going for the channeling immediately. And now from the top lane, we have the rest of the team coming in. It's a 5 versus 4 in this case. Shen is moving in from the right side, and yeah, it looks like Freds is really tempted to initiate here.
It's going to be Leap and Rain of Vengeance actually being taken on the side of Fnatic here to go into this fight, as Lowell might take some damage at the front line, but does pull back. Actually, a lot of damage being done. Has to pop the Avatar there, and some healing being done by Ace of Spades at the back, but it's too difficult for them to push on forwards. They lose that trip.
And Leap together with Rain of Vengeance can really do a lot of work in one of those team fights. If you start with Leap and you hit, let's say, 3 heroes and a good Rain of Vengeance is being used, that can destroy an entire team. But then we have also Wandering Kek used on the side of El Nexo, of course. They used it in the last game and they are going to use it again over here. But yeah, the rest of the talents that we are seeing with Metamorphosis, that's a lot of damage potential for both teams right now. These fights could go either way.
Definitely, the Wandering Keg for me is something that's going to be really interesting going into those fights, because again, we've seen Lucifron use that in the previous game very, very well, and if he's able to get good position on that again, it could work out nicely. But of course, there is the potential for people like Muradin and Sonya to just cancel that out and just be where they want to with those lead potentials. So.
Yeah, well, the Spanish Armada is once again on the way up to the top. Here comes Fnatic taking position, but Vala isn't here. They don't have Vala with them just yet. They need to buy some more time, and they're waiting it out. Vala coming in from the side. KSL is there, riding in on his Tiger. Do we have Sonya with the lead? Not yet. He's looking for it, misses the spear. And therefore, also a bit low on Fury right now. Shinobu with the channel, healing what is in position. Interrupt thanks to the Storm.
I don't think they want to take this fight just yet because Avatar was on cooldown, but there comes the barrel now, pushing them out of position. They were trying to get on top of Lowell to do some damage, but he actually jumped out very smartly as the other team wasn't there to be able to support him. Ancestral Healing's going to go down on low, but Fred is so low and ends up falling.
Yeah, that was bad positioning there. That Wandering Keg split them up, drove a wedge between the team. Lowell is jumping away, and Sonya having to jump out is, of course, a big problem since they are relying a lot on the initial stun and then the setup with the additional Rain of Vengeance. So that didn't work out for them, not at all. So they're going to lose Tribute. They already lost it. They lost 1 hero. It's still 3 kills against 2. Same experience for both of them. But that was not a good fight for them. It was just like a positional issue.
And they're going to take the hard camp off the back of that. So we're actually seeing, though, Fnatic going to take Golem down to the very bottom. And Chen, well, he was wandering around for a while, but we're also going to see them take the boss as well. I was kind of surprised that they actually went over to hard camp before the boss, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's blow for blow. And they get themselves to level 13 first, so at least they get their talent.
Yeah, so they have the middle pushing in now. They're going to get the boss at the top. Both teams have now one of those. And the mid lane is occupying the entire Fnatic team now. They have to push that first. We couldn't actually push it the wall yet.
Clean up the mid. There goes the boss on top. Boss on bottom now pushing forwards. And heading on down to clean that up. Both teams just kind of in a state of equilibrium here to try and clean up their lanes. But at the same time, with that slight lead that we're seeing from El Nexo in terms of experience. Oh, and the Trib spawning down here for them as well, so they're going to get this curse.
Yep. They let it happen. They were thinking for a second about moving down. As you could see there, two of the heroes were moving towards the bot lane, but then they just realized, okay boys, this is not happening. We're not able to get that boss. We have to let that pass, and they are instead focusing on the fort at the top. Gonna go for a trade. Brightwing, by the way, with a great move again. He's just simply soaking up experience in the mid lane. And El Nexo is going to take at least one fort. They might even get two.
Yeah, good stuff for them, and just pushing on very, very nicely. A lot of damage able to come out onto these two lanes, but at the same time, look at this.
Nice, I like it. I like it. It's basically, they're trying to force El Nexo's hand. They're just saying, okay, if you don't TP back, we're going to take keep. You might get two forts, but we're going to take the keep there. And there's the move back. It saved the bottom fort, at least for now. Only Brightwing was not moving back, and he took keep in a fort in the mid lane.
Still 30 seconds left on this curse, though, so there is the potential that that bottom lane continues pushing on and causing us a lot of problems. They're not going to be able to get down there and clean it up too quickly, as they're trying to clean up middle at this point. Are they going to? No, I don't think they're going to save that.
The bottom, nah, they won't be able to. It's just without the curse just pushes those lanes back too hard. They're going to get the experience though. Lowell is going to make sure of that, and that is going to be enough for now. We will have level 16 very soon for El Nexo, but yeah, they are not too far behind. It's of course annoying. It's a disadvantage. No question. But still, they are in a position where they can say, okay, it's going to take us maybe like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and then we'll be on level 16 too, and we can fight on eye level.
It's like in the end, the trades were 3 forts for 2 forts, if we're looking at it. And they also got that wall at the top, which was nice there.
Oh, Freds! A bit late on the capture of the hard camp. That could have backfired, but Illidan didn't move in. So now we have 4 of their players already rotating, and one trying to get the level 16 talent with another wave at the bottom. There it is. 16 has been taken. And that brings us 2 blood for blood already. And Stone Skin, Stone Form, of course, 2. Muradin, just so tanky with this.
What are we going to see finally taken here from Hammer? Actually being careful about it, really. We saw Graduating Range last game, actually. I can't remember who that was from, but is it going to be Hovertank? Let's find out.
Nope, Mines.
Oh, okay.
Mines, yeah, the Mine talent.
So many good options for Sergeant Hammer at the level 16. So many great options.
16 is one of those talents where a lot of heroes have just like amazing options to choose from. And Blizzard changing talents up is doing a pretty decent job to keep the game interesting with this.
Definitely. El Nexo, though, moving through the mid here. Looking to push on through that wave. And from there, could gain themselves a little bit of access to more damage. But we're going to see the Fnatic react. And actually coming in from the back by the looks of things there. Just in case they were to press the issue. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, hero damage in the game so far. Jaina doing a very good job with 15,000 damage dealt to heroes. And we're having Vala with 16,000. Siege damage, Vala also leading the charts. Hammer actually in this game so far not with too much, but I guess we didn't have too many team battles where he could use his napalm. There we go again with another fight though, and this time maybe an opportunity for Fnatic to get that damage in and do some work. Experience is very similar. I mean, that lead that El Nexo has is an extremely small one. This is, once again, one of those games that's just like super intense because a single fight can just screw everything up for a team.
And that single fight might come very, very soon. They're going to take hard camp because it is so close to them, but then from there on out, they're looking to rival this position. They've actually got themselves caught between a rock and a hard place. They've put themselves in a choke here, which might not work out in their favor. It remains to be seen. But
they have the healing ward.
Yeah.
In the back, already set up. Mines are at the front there and trying to push them back. They attempt to channel that tribute. That would be Curse. Here comes the one rank. Nice! This time a great stun by Sonya. Jumping in, but now the heal, ancestral healing on Frez, and they burst Brightwing away. And now it looks like Illidan might be the next target. He's already shielded by Tacita. There comes the slow from the frost shot. Down he goes. And oh boy, was that a good lead by Frez.
Oh, I really saw the plan coming together there for El Nexo in my head. If you watch the movement of Lucifron, he was trying to push Ace of Spades away whilst they were trying to blow people up, hoping that it could get them before the Ancestral Healing came in, but it didn't work out. So, unfortunately for them, they don't quite hit the mark there with that plan, but Well, Fnatic reacted beautifully to it.
Yeah, that was really a great stun that we saw there. That was an absolutely playmaker stun that we had in this situation. Like, if you hear that war sound by Sonya and she jumps in, that can be beautiful. And in this case, it worked extremely well. They get themselves a bit of a lead, and that should result in at least a keep going down. Illidan is still not there for the team. But this game isn't over yet, of course not. The Curse is pressuring El Nexo a lot, but this is not over yet. We saw it in the last game. One fight is all you need, and now we see Fnatic with an advantage, but can they really finish it?
Here comes the boss. He's going to wail away at that keep very, very quickly, and that's just going to cause the kill. They don't even need to be there. They can go elsewhere and get another boss if they so want, because that boss is keeping them so preoccupied here. And also, bot is pushing as well pretty hard, whilst middle not doing so much. So for Fnatic, that was a brilliant little fight,
Enough.
And they go for the second boss now. The boss is still starting to do some work towards the core, but of course he won't be able to take that shield down. The boss at the bot lane, they don't go for it. They actually say, nope, we are not too close, we don't want to risk it. Gonna try and lay a bit of a trap there, maybe get a fight, do something, but we can't go for the boss itself yet. And they are on the exact same amount of experience. So the next fight, all of the ults are up again. And they attempt to stun one out, but Lowell jumps in and doesn't get anybody there. Nice dimensional shift from Tassadar.
Yep, getting out good. And it looks like they're going to be able to take their hard camp at least here, our Fnatic. So they can start rivaling a few of these camps. Easy camp got taken by El Nexo over on the right-hand side, and Lowell just cleaning up in the middle. So they can take their easy camp as well if they want to, but they've got to be careful about giving up the area on the lower side of this map, because this boss could still be contended here by El Nexo, so they've got to be very, very careful about leaving it.
It's a constant hotspot on the map now. And Ace of Spades is trying to get vision. You can already see him with his Earthbind Totem moving in, getting the vision there, and they're both just moving away. More camps taken now by Fnatic, and the more camps they get, the more pressure there is against El Nexo. Yeah, are already in mid lane dealing with the hard camp that was taken earlier, level 18 versus level 18, and now the rotation towards the boss again by Fnatic.
Yeah, they're still looking for it. I think they might try and set up a trap by the looks of things. They want to definitely clean up bot, and they are positioning themselves in all of these bushes, just waiting for the movement here of El Nexo to try and capture them loose front. Ooh. Okay, he's not going to go too far.
They're actually looking for it. They're still on the lookout here. Both of the teams are just lying in waiting, trying to find an opportunity to get a kill. I think they saw Lucifron. Yeah, they did. And now he can decide if he wants to jump in. Lowell is already there. Does he get a hammer in? Alistar with a dimensional shift. And here's the jump. They want to initiate. Oh, and there's a nice initiation once again. Really well done. Alistar is low, but the healing ward is already there. Wandering Keg is pushing them in, but Lucifron is completely split from the rest of the team, and he goes down first.
Oh, and at the same time, Attributes actually just spawned in this exact location, so they're going to be able to disperse all the El Nexo members and even just rally back onto that if they want to. They're looking for more kills. Alistar and Law versus XD being pursued through to the mid, but at least they're going to get this fought. And yeah, that one, the jump in from Lucifron and the Wandering Keg, as much as it's done work in the past couple of engagements, I don't think it did it there.
They didn't kill the fourth.
Oh.
Lol, noops. I'm gonna so laugh about that later on when I'm in that team speak, because that is, yeah, they should have killed that for sure. They want to go for boss, of course, they want to take that fast, but then nobody really took that down. Ace of Spades was the only one. He was still standing there and he was like, guys, we forgot something. And he couldn't move in because he knew that the rest of El Nexo was still somewhere in the vicinity. So yeah, pretty interesting move there. It's still not down, but they are going to move in and taking it now. They have the boss pushing the bottom lane, but as you said, last fight was great. That jump from Red was amazing, and then the Wandering Keg puts Lucifron in a position where he just can't move away anymore after it's done. So that, yeah, knocked him out right away. But it was surprising to me that they really wanted to fight in that encounter, since they were up against the Blizzard that we've seen from Jaina. But they hit that, they did that very well.
Well, going to try and do some more damage over here with the extra boss that's pushing on forwards with them. Shinobu's got well set up at the back to start raining down a lot of damage. And oh, Lucifron actually got hit by the root there. If they'd have noticed that, maybe they could have done a bit more with it, but it's difficult when you're wanting to jump on the front lines.
Look at the experience. If that experience bar hits 20 during that fight, then we're going to see so much damage coming from them. And also the hardened shield on Sonya and the rewind on Muradin. And this is going to hit any second now. They're not getting the keep just yet. God, that. And yeah, they need to move out. There's no additional wave, but there's another tribute, and they want to have that.
Yeah, they needed the keep to fall for that experience to pop with no extra waves coming along during that time. So sad stuff. They could have had a brilliant little timing there, but at least they get that trib. It's 2 out of 3 now for them, rivaling 0 out of 3 for El Nexo, who get their level 20s as well.
There we go. 20's taken, and it is Nexus Frenzy on Sergeant Hammer. I like it. We have Hardened Shield on Sonya as called, and Rewind on Muradin. On the other hand, it is Hardened Shield once more, this time for Chen. We have Demonic Form on Illidan, not going for the Nexus Blades. And yeah, so 3 times that we see the new heroic abilities in play, and I feel especially Hammer is gonna start doing crazy work.
Yeah, big damage. Shinobu's got a lot of a good opportunity here. That napalm could have come earlier, but
yeah, finally, that keep going down. But yeah, they need to TP back. The top lane, they were trying to go for boss, but now they have to actually TP back. They decide against it and start moving here because we have another rotation, and it looks like they are simply going for the keep now. They're trying to move in and take the keep before El Nexo's even in position.
Yeah,
great rotation, never like it.
Yeah, really, really well done. Taking the 2 keeps opposed to the 1 now. And they've got to be careful though. Lowell's actually going to have to pop Avatar out to get out of this, but he's taking a lot of damage. Archon is up as well, and that's Twilight Archon doing a big amount of damage there.
Muradin is already dead, and here comes Sonya jumping in immediately. The hands is still healing up on Fred. Kesil is in trouble. Ace of Spades is being attacked. Lolver 60 is low and goes down. They get 1 kill at least, but they need to get away here. They killed the keep, but they need to stay alive now, because if they don't, then we might see El Nexo just snowballing this. Freds is extremely low. Shinobu is moving in, and he's trying to push them away and using the thrusters, but down goes Sonya, and Shinobu might actually pay with his own life because he was trying to save his friend. A great flying kick by Lucifron, and down goes Shinobu, and now Fnatic might be in trouble here.
Yeah, Kazel's the only man alive. He's going to try and get that trib. At least that's, if he can get that, if he can pick that up right here, right now, then he can have the curse hit them, and then they might have to be forced to defend. Yep. They need something like that, though, considering that they're 4 men down.
Oh!
Oh, he got it! He got it! Run away!
Oh, that was crazy good, but he might die. He might die here. No, he blinks away! Awesome! He uses blink, blinks away, and immediately goes straight for the B. That was a very nice move by him. Lowell is back by now, and in the end, it all worked out for them, but they still lost 3 heroes in the attempt, and that put a lot... I mean, the adrenaline on their team is insane right now.
Yeah. There was a little indecisiveness about Vortex's movement there, whether he wanted to go around the right or go through to the boss camp to actually try and drop a blizzard on him, but I think he could have actually got him if he'd have gone one way and decided on that one way, but in the end that's not the case. They're going to get boss at least, but they are cursed, so they're going to have to start doing cleanup duty very soon.
Yeah, so just like to at the end of the day, just sum it up what happened here. We have 2 keeps down now against 3 keeps still completely alive. So that's the big issue. The experience advantage that we are seeing for El Nexo, it doesn't really matter anymore. If you're looking at level 21, level 22, 23, there is of course a stat advantage that comes with the additional levels, but it's not as significant as in the early game. So right now it's more about the position on the map, getting the mercenaries, getting of course a curse for example, and dropping keeps. And 2 keeps down means there's a lot of pressure against El Nexo, and after defeating the bosses, Fnatic should be in a position where they can start to really control the map.
So second boss, yeah. It timed out really nicely for them, and they realized that that is going to be contested as it came up just in the nick of time for El Nexo to be over there. But I don't think that El Nexo can take this. I think they're going to be rivaled too hard against it.
Yeah, and they're already moving in. Boss is leashed, gets his hit points up again. The boss at the top lane is going to be taken out by the 2 catapults that are shooting at it. So yeah, once more, the lanes are going to be deep pushed. And of course, with Brightwing at the top lane, you always have to keep in mind that his cooldown on phase shift was increased. It's up, so it's not a problem for him right now. That's something where he needs to be careful.
Yeah, you can't just be going back to lanes every single time you want. You have to make sure that you're keeping good tabs on it. And he is actually doing a really good job of continuing to push those lanes, actually, whilst we're seeing El Nexo trying to reposition themselves to contest this boss location, at least.
Yeah, and here we go again. Lucifron is thinking about jumping in. Bottom lane is, by the way, pushed hard now. There's a lot of catapults with that push too. So far, there's 2 catapults. The third one is moving in. You cannot simply ignore that. You need to send somebody back, so they have to disengage there. And that will give Fnatic maybe even a chance to go for the boss.
Yeah, an extra little tower being taken, so a small chunk of experience being given their way. And they're checking to see where Nexo are around this boss. So tense, you've got to be so careful about engaging, because if they just jump straight on in, then you're going to have a very, very difficult situation on your hands.
Yeah, they're sending a few heroes back now, and the catapults are not gonna do the damage to the core, at least they should not. And this is the time when Fnatic goes for the boss, so it's all timed out. You know exactly when you have to go for that, and they're making that move now. And with that boss, they could try to end the game. But Lucifron is moving in. The boss is not dead yet. Lucifron is on the move. The problem is the rest of the team isn't there yet. The rest of the team is still missing. Lucifron jumps in, goes for the rolling kick, tries to grab the boss. He gets it! He gets it with the rolling kick!
Unbelievable, and Grab PKT taking a lot of damage off the back of this as he did teleport into Lucifron, trying to aid the situation, but Low's going to fall as well. And oh my god, Skeleton actually getting taken down, with Sonya also falling. Ace of Spades in a lot of trouble, but everyone just getting absolutely obliterated. Shinobu's had free reign over this whole engagement.
Shinobu is showcasing why exactly that new level 20 talent on Hammer is so brutal. He's taking everybody out. Does he still have the thrusters alive? He could move in, but he doesn't. The bot lane is being attacked right now by the boss, and Kesel is moving back. 3 heroes against 3 heroes, and Shinobu just on a killing spree. That Wandering Kek stealing the boss in this situation. Who needs Zeratul with the old Void Prism if you have the Wandering Kek? That was perfect timing there that we saw on them. And of course, what also helped was Brightwing jumping in to help out with that too. Brightwing just using his skills there, put Chen in the position where he could accomplish that. But yeah, that damage on Sergeant Hammer now, wow.
Definitely. I actually really want to watch that back and see how if Emerald Wind was impactful. I was focusing so much on the Wandering Keg that maybe there was also Emerald Wind there to help that out even further, because the combination of that pushed them off so well. So it was a good steal there by Nexo, but it's by no means over just yet.
No, it's definitely not over. And we had the ultimate from Brightwing in that position. It was not only the Wandering Keg, it was that dream team. The dream team between Wandering Keg, Chen, and Emerald Wind Brightwing. That's what we saw there. And now it's tribute time again. 22 versus 23, lanes pushing, all heroes back to business. We are 26 minutes in already on Cursed Hollow. You could even ignore that tribute and just like go for more of a YOLO move, but we have one camp, unfortunately, for Fnatic pushing down the bottom lane, so they would be in vision range very early.
Fantastic game so far, though, Kaldor. One of the best we've seen here at the Major League over the past 2 weeks. As they're really going at it, head-to-head, toe-to-toe. It's 1-1. I mean, it all rides on this for this best of 3, and it's so close.
Super fun game. Super fun game, definitely. And once again, that battle, and Cast Brightwing come in. We have still 2 keeps down against 0 keeps down. Still that advantage for Fnatic, but here comes Lucifron again, going for the Keg move. Killing Ward is in position, they can't kill that out. Shinobu, of course, wants to get into the same spot that he was in the last fight. He enjoyed that a lot, I guess.
Yeah, although getting stormed, being pushed off that Trib's point, as the bosses even spawn during all of this, but Vortex doing a good job of trying to clean up the top of that lane. And Lowell moving into position of command.
The minefield that you have up there is just like too strong, they don't want to fight that. Oh my god, that leap! That leap! Holy shit, 3 heroes, 4 stunned out. They get Jaina immediately. Lucifron is putting Ace of Spades in the back so that he can't heal anybody. But that leap changed everything.
And there's an Ancestral Healing on Fres to keep him alive even more during all of this. They haven't lost a single person yet, as unfortunately for them, with Jaina being down, they've lost a lot of damage here of Nexo, and their core is being pushed. They're really up against it here. Fnatic are playing out a brilliant game with a very strong engagement. As you said, all started by Sonya there to get things going.
A 4-hero leap that was great. And again, we saw Chen with the Wandering Kek trying to just like push the healer away so that no Ancestral Healing could be used. Now Lolver60 is moving in. His demonic form is not going to last for too much longer. And well, what am I saying? Of course, the demonic, like, forget what I just said. Gran Fakete is actually still very endangered here. And Sonya moves in to take him down, and they're going to get him. It's 2 heroes down now, and they might get another one, and then they could go straight for core.
Lucifron, Lolver60 and Alistair, they just have no opportunity to really do too much with what they've got available to them. Vortex is now up and alive. But how are they going to be able to rival the idea of a boss kill here? It's going to be difficult.
It's another problem. In mid lane is being pushed in, the keep is falling. So right now Fnatic is losing a keep. They need to somehow capitalize on the situation. Taking a hero down in itself does not matter. They need to somehow capitalize on it. Turning it into a 4 versus 5 fight would be a great start. Wandering Keck being used again, but Jaina is running. She's on the run, but Shinobu mercilessly moving up, and the Spanish Armada is in trouble. Shinobu kills Jaina. Now they're moving straight towards the core and are trying to kill another hero in the process. This could be the chance of Fnatic to end the game.
Nexo trying to hold on desperately. They're always a man down, it seems, in these last fights, but somehow, some way, they're able to hold on against the push. As Fnatic looking for, still, I mean, they're looking for boss. Eventually, after kill after kill after kill, they're looking for those boss.
The important thing is boss would end the game.
Yeah.
This is why Nexo is so desperately trying to just like change the outcome of that battle up here, to interrupt it, because they know if they get the boss, it's over. They know that. They wouldn't jump in with 4 players if they had another chance. There comes LOL versus XD going in again. LOL is low, but uses stone form already. Franz is extremely low as well. He's trying to get out here. Lucifer is dropping in HP too. Rega is already dead, but this is Chen dying, and oh my god, with Franz on the hunt and KSL slowing everybody down thanks to the frost shot, this might be game. Grand Paquette is about to die. We have 3 heroes down. Well, Jaina is back. Oh, and Grand Paquette actually lives.
Oh, brilliant game. The Twilight Archon didn't even get a huge amount done because he was trapped up in all these small corridors behind people. It's as much as, yes, Twilight Archon can do huge amounts, he didn't get exactly what he wanted done there. And finally, El Nexo have been able to push Fnatic out of this position, but Fnatic can now just retreat back to their boss on their side of the map, whilst El Nexo are going to have to just sit back on theirs. They can't move out at this point.
Yeah, they need to go for the boss at the bottom now, and now there are only 3 heroes on the map. They are definitely going to get at least the boss up here. This is an insane game right now. This is getting crazy, and the damage of especially Shinobu is just jumping up. It's insane. He was at 50,000 hero damage, and now he's at 80,000 already, just because of the last 2 fights. His siege damage is currently at 200,000, and Mala's siege damage is at roughly the same level. The boss is taken, and with this one, they are going to try and end it. Or they could try to go for the top boss instead, grab the tribute maybe in the process, get vision there too, and just like play the objectives on the map. And El Nexo, what are they doing? They're moving to the left side. Are they trying to threaten war with 2 heroes?
They might try and do something here. It looks like they are. I think they're trying to force a recall, but if it is, they are actually all going to recall here. But the boss is going to cause them a significant problem as well. They're trying to go for the core, doing quite a bit of damage, but they will get pushed away.
And Chen was trying to interrupt the callback. Oh, Vortex is already down. Grand Paquette about to die. The Hail Mary move that we're seeing from Nexo, does it work? They are 50%, 50%, but 2 heroes down. Lolver 60 is dying as well. Is he still alive? 27%.
Oh,
no.
It's not going to be enough.
Oh my god, the boss is doing work at the right side, attacking the core. Lucifron is the only one that is still back there. I think if Lucifron would have been with them, they could have finished the game off. He was trying to interrupt the callbacks, but didn't get it against Sonya. And this is GG. El Nexo loses the game. The Spanish Armada has been defeated, and Fnatic takes the series with a 2-1.
Wow, what